Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Is your favorite jacked and not so tan investor because it is winter and it's actually finally starting to feel like winter here in Utah. We've had a weird, warm winter, and now that it's the new year, I feel bad. I was going to update and do more videos over the Christmas break, but I wasn't able to. I got pretty heavy into vacation mode. Went and visit my wife's family in California. Had a great time. Really just relaxed and kind of unplugged a little bit. You'll notice the account looks a little different because I actually have moved my account from E-Trade to Charles Schwab. E-Trade would not give me options trading level 2. They refused to do it. I think I applied maybe like 6 or 7 times, and I don't know why they just wouldn't do it. They would not approve level 2. And all I wanted was to be able to buy protected puts on the account and sell puts as well. I was able to sell calls, which I did quite often in that account, but I wasn't able to do some of the other things. So had to switch in order for the system to work the way that it's designed and to be able to protect the account the way that I want to. I need to be able to buy those out of the money, cheap protected puts, sell puts to get in to my favorite stocks at good prices. And so here we are. I have swapped accounts, and there's actually still some money in the other account in E-Trade that needs to come over to this, like 4,000 or 5,000. I think I still need to transfer. That I'm just kind of letting it linger for now until I get all the bills, everything moved over. So kind of a pain, but it's a necessary pain at this point in time. So basically at all-time highs, like I said, it's roughly about $70,000 now. So even on vacation, living out of the brokerage, paying bills, obviously using money. We went to Disneyland, took the kids to Disneyland one of those days. It was their Christmas present. And we actually gained value. So the system works. I was actually telling my wife here like a week ago, it works better than I thought it would, being honest. The compounding is really quite amazing when you actually see it in action in that way. So let's jump in real quick. I'll show you some of the trades that I made last week, closed out at the very tail end of last week. Some of the new ones I've opened today, trades I've closed out, so you can see what we're currently doing. So if you come over to the front here, you can see I have actually made about $884 so far this month in January, and we're only into January about 5 days. So doing pretty good so far. 3.5%, my goal is to make anywhere, 2% a week, 4% a month. That's what I'm aiming for. Meeting my goals right now. It's working out really, really well. If we want to go look at the actual specific trades that I made, these are the ones that I have closed, and I haven't fully updated my current positions that are open. I think there's one more I got to add there, but we'll fix that. We'll get to that. But if you look at what we've closed so far this week, so I closed a trade on SOXL, covered call trade. I had 200 contracts. I closed that out for $185 of gain on both contracts. So that totaled $364. That was a great trade. It was like 4.6%. And then these two BITX covered calls, I closed those out today, and they each made $205. And what you're not seeing here is that that ETF has a dividend as well, a pretty good one. And I received, I think, $74 for the dividend last month on 100 of those shares. And so we actually ended up making a little bit more, but that's okay. So far, I'm not gonna complain about the this is a new tracker I'm using too, so it's not quite perfect yet. METU closed out a poor man's cover call on METU for a nice small gain of $89. And I actually opened up a new covered call. That these are the open trades right up here. So a new covered call on METU for about $210 in premium that expires on Friday. I opened a poor man's covered call on LABU today as well. That is a leap trade that I'm selling a short-term call against. And that was $320 in premium collected. And that one closes on Friday as well. And then with Palantir selling off as bad as it did the other day, it was down Palantir itself was down, I believe, 6%. And so the 2X leverage PLTG ETF was down like 12%. So great opportunity, great entry there. Got in this morning for $104 per contract, so a total of $400. And now we're already up $100 in that position because the market performed really well today. Palantir was bought right back up. I'm assuming that people were taking profits and trying to push off their tax liability to next year. So they were able to sell basically the first day of the year, take all their profits that they made, push their tax bill out a whole nother year. So I'm assuming that what that sell-off was all about. And now, it was fine. It was a great entry point for us. So those are the current trades that were closed. These are the trades that are open. I am going to be looking to open maybe one or two more. I have to reallocate a lot of the funds that I transferred into Schwab back into the high yield dividend ETFs that was in before. I'm going to be looking at opening a position in. So I have a position I just opened today in XDTE. I have a position I need to reopen in Chippy because I had to sell from E-Trade, and then it's just easier to transfer the cash. That's why I did it that way. Maybe not the best way because now I'm gonna have to buy back in, and even though there was some capital gain on those shares when I sold them, now I'm buying back in at a higher cost basis, and not exactly my favorite thing to do. But again, those positions are to pay dividends and compound, so I'm not as concerned about entry points as when I'm actively selling options. So I'm going to buy back in on that. I'm going to buy some RDTE, and then I have got a couple more positions I got to look at opening. I'm not quite decided on the other two that I'm going to buy, but I will, of course, update you when I do. Pretty much sums up the portfolio recap for this week. Please like, share, subscribe. I hope you found value in this. I hope it's helping you. If you would like to be a part of my weekly calls where every weekend we dive into trades trades I'm looking at doing, answer questions, go over any options, selling based topics that you'd like, please just leave me a comment and I will send you the link to those Zoom calls. And I hope you have a great week.